Thank you, Nancy, and thank you, Rich. And I do remember that time it was at the Waldorf Astoria in New York. And he was speaking, and I was so new to this idea of gathering people together. But what he said, and I will never forget it, that actually, I'm sitting there listening, and all of a sudden, my eyes weren't wide. He said, 70% of doctor visits could be prevented. That means 70% of costs and so on. And I thought, what? That can't be possible, 70%. And, that has been a mandate ever since, that's something we can help with. And many of you may not know that Dr. Carmona actually ran for office years ago. And I have to say, I'm kind of glad you didn't make it because I think we need you. And I'm glad to know that you feel, too, that we have a great network and we can get a lot done because we're not so political. We're very agnostic, and we're just about getting the work done. So thank you. Okay, the theme for the 2020 Global Wellness Summit is Resetting the World with Wellness, and I think it's quite important and appropriate. And I thought I would let you know where that term came from. So it was the spring of this year. It was shortly after the pandemic began and had already started to engulf the world that Pope Francis expressed a desire to put forward a new vision for the world post-COVID. And Professor Martin Palmer, who's Secretary General, ARC, in the UK, who consults with the Vatican, and he was one of our keynote speakers last year in Singapore. And when he consulted with the Vatican, he suggested to them that the organization that could contribute most effectively to this new vision, which would likely make prevention take a strong role, would be the Global Wellness Institute. So thanks to Martin Palmer, we were approached by the Vatican, and we were asked to write 8 white papers, helping to educate and show the way forward for a new model of health that included a strong emphasis on wellness. And this is the result. Our researchers, our brilliant researchers, many of you know them, Ophelia Yang and Catherine Johnston, they took 2 months out of their year process of the research that they are focused on, that we are going to be talking about, they're going to be introducing today on mental wellness. They took 2 months off and wrote these fantastic white papers. And when they finished, as one does when one is writing, they concluded that what really is the right title for that is Resetting the World with Wellness. And that's the compendium. It's on the Global Wellness Institute website. You can download it and read it if you're interested. So that's where it came from. And as the year unfolded and the momentum of wellness continued to accelerate, we, of course, thought this is got to be the theme for our summit. And it is, in fact, that it factored into one of the reasons we made the bold and admittedly somewhat controversial decision to stay the course and actually hold an in-person summit. We did get some criticism along the way, but we pivoted. Obviously, our location was going to be Tel Aviv. We saw in the spring, early summer, that was not going to be a good idea. But we did not want to cancel because we thought this year the whole conversation about wellness is more important than ever. And so we reached out to the Breakers here in Palm Beach, the home of a very successful 2017 summit, and having one of the most committed workforces and management for wellness, and they happily embraced us. So the bottom line is we felt we have to meet, and collectively we need to have an important voice in what's happening going forward. So trust me when I say, I am so thankful for each and every one of you, especially that are sitting here, because you came, you have, as Victor had said, grit. You are the most visionary, and I know we have people virtually, and some of them wanted to come and couldn't, but I just want to give you a hand and thank you for being here. So all of this led to some very creative work and the bringing together of some top companies to reimagine the future of gatherings. Nancy already mentioned Healthy, Delos, Lynn and Victor Brick, and Planet Fitness, the medical doctors at Premier Family Health, and our medical advisor, Dr. Carmona. I don't know if I can say this, but I'm going to. We did the COVID tests, and we found out that everyone was negative. So that's just one piece that we wanted to add for our safety. And again, thanks to Nancy for making all that happen. So I'm also very grateful for those of you who are here virtually, either at this moment or, as I said, maybe later, listening to the recorded. It's the support of all of you, and especially our faithful sponsors who've made it possible for us to spend this time together. And I just want to say that the sponsors, in a year like this, where there is so much uncertainty, for our sponsors to step up and contribute and make this possible, it's really, really something. And I just encourage you all to support our sponsors. They are truly in this for the right reason. Now I want to bring your attention to a book that some of you may have seen. It's called COVID-19, The Great Reset. It was a book by Thierry Mallerit and Klaus Schwab. We work with Thierry Mallerit, most of you know that, and Klaus Schwab, the founder of the World Economic Forum. This book came out in July, and it really was put together to help the business community and investors look at what to expect post-COVID. I think probably at that time they didn't think it would last as long as it did, but nevertheless, it was a great effort because it was the first book that came out. But here's the thing I wanted to share with all of you that they said in that book. There's 3 arenas that are going to benefit from COVID. And they are, can you imagine, can you guess? Technology, health, and wellness. And here we are, and those are headlining our summit. So I usually take a few minutes to talk a little bit and introduce to the people who are new about the Global Wellness Summit and the Global Wellness Institute. And every year, of course, we keep our statistics. Do you know what percentage of people are new here at the summit? Every year it's about the same, and it's usually about 50%. This year it's 52%. So that means half of you do not know us, and by the way, it's the red lanyards that tell you who is new, so please make an effort to welcome them. But I want to just tell you very quickly about, I just have a few slides. The Global Wellness Summit, the mission is joining together, shaping the future. And we started in 2007. You can see that we've convened annual summits around the world. This is our 14th. Our 15th will be in Tel Aviv. And you can see where we have been. We've been to Turkey and Bali and India and Morocco, Mexico City, Austria. And the point I wanted to make with this is that we early on decided it is important, if we're going to be global, that we really learn from countries all over the world. We're not going to just stay in the United States and say we're international. We're going to go and we're going to learn. And I think that has helped us a great deal, and I'm glad we've done it. And it's just given us a lot of memories, too. Next slide. Then the Global Wellness Institute. That was formed about 6 years after the summit. The mission is empowering wellness worldwide. And I would say that the Institute has given us a great deal of credibility, as Dr. Carmona had mentioned, because of the research especially, and the other entities that have developed over time. It's contributed mightily to defining the global wellness economy. And here are the 5 pillars, and they're all really important. Research is the foundation, and many of you know our research. Initiatives that are now up to about 30. These are volunteers all over the world working in specific in specific areas of wellness. We do roundtables. Wellnessevidence.com is the website where you can find all of the medical evidence for so many of the modalities. And then the Wellness Moonshot, a world free of preventable disease that you'll hear more about. And then my favorite bubble chart that you have heard about before. I know a lot of people have seen this because I hear from so many people in every boardroom, in every presentation, this chart comes up. Now, this is the chart that I would say has gotten so much attention from media, from investment, from governments, from thought leaders. And you know why? It has numbers. We're not just talking in general about wellness or well-being or prevention. This has numbers, and that's gotten people's attention. 4.5 trillion as a global wellness economy in 2018. This is going to change now. We're going to have new numbers next year. But nevertheless, it's a huge number, and it's going to still be a huge number. So when people saw, oh my gosh, wellness tourism, 639 billion, that got people's attention. And so I'm so proud of what the Institute has done and is continuing to do in terms of bringing numbers to the world. And I would say it's, our researchers have been with us over, 12 years now. And so you can be sure that they take one major topic a year and spend the entire year studying it. So, and you can see that the figures are reliable, and they've gotten better every year in terms of defining them, and it's also taken millions of dollars to make this research happen, and so we're grateful to the support of the GWI, which has made that happen. So just one spoiler alert to let you know, this is the last time you're going to see this chart looking just like this, because the 10 sectors that are outlined here is going to we're birthing a new sector this summit. It's the wellness, the mental wellness bubble, and you'll hear about that later this morning. So just to let you know, that's going to be retired, and a new bubble chart will arise. And as I mentioned, in 2021, our commitment is to redo our numbers so that you'll have new numbers that take into consideration what's happened with COVID. Quick word about our values. Both organizations, Global Wellness Summit and the nonprofit Global Wellness Institute, have these as their guiding force. These are the values. We are committed to being global. We are future-focused. We are collaborative, as Andrew Gibson had said. We're evidence-based, and we are agile. Are we not? So I hope that by the end of this summit, all of you will feel those values and hopefully embrace them. Okay, time to look at the horizon. That's fundamentally what our summits are about, the future and what we see. So here's the plan for coming out with a roadmap. That's what we plan to do going forward. We're going to be getting input from each and every one of you. In some cases, we already have gotten some answers to a questionnaire that was sent out a while ago. 3 questions about how you see the future, the opportunities, and what we can accomplish collectively. Our speakers and presenters this next few days are going to be talking about this, and we have brainstorming sessions. The one this afternoon will include all of you, and virtually, Anna Berstrom is going to be doing a brainstorming session. So all of that information will be aggregated, and then we're going to generate, with discussion with our research team and our board, a roadmap for the future, because we very much know that a collaborative message is stronger than a lot of individual ones. So now I thought I'd spend a few minutes sharing something with you that's a little bit new. It's kind of what I want to contribute to the conversation about resetting the world with wellness. It's something I think about a lot, this whole idea of the future. And, I started my career 40 years ago, so I've seen a lot of changes, the twists and turns. I started at the Golden Door, which is in Southern California, which still has a fantastic program of helping people make lasting lifestyle changes. So I've seen the fat farm, to the spa, to wellness, to the addition of happiness and well-being, to the emphasis on environment and now focus on regeneration. And I've seen how the medical world has at times been a competitor, sometimes an adversary, and now, as you will see in a moment, I believe the opportunity to become a collaborator. Along the way, we as an organization have introduced a few new ideas that have have been embraced over time. Wellness tourism is something we introduced in 2013 in terms of defining the economy of it. Wellness lifestyle real estate in 2017. And last year in Singapore, I shared with everyone, or we all collectively recognized, that our first decade was about making wellness a recognizable force in the world, and that we accomplished that. But that the next decade is going to be about wellness for all and wellness for the planet. Admittedly, something we have not done so well in the last decade. So going forward, two things I want to share. Technology, I want to say, first of all, the rapid pivot to the use of technology and virtual connection is probably the most obvious example. I'm sure all of you in your businesses are looking at that. We shifted, adding the virtual access package, adding wellness master classes that have had over 1,000 people a week sign up to be part of them. So clearly technology, and you'll see with the technology pavilion and our agenda, there is more technology, and there will be even more technology next year in Tel Aviv on our radar. And second, I wanted to share with you something that I think is a possibility, if you agree, we'll see, to reset our relationship with the medical community. That's what I see has happened because of COVID. The medical community has not always been a supporter, as Rich Carmona said. They have not always been able to define wellness. And I think now, because of COVID-19, that this is changing. And I wanted to show you in a visual form right here something that I have found is resonating with the medical community. In fact, when I showed it to the board yesterday, Dr. Michael Roizen of the Cleveland Clinic, he said, bingo! You know, it's a new model for holistic health where we show healthcare and self-care. And it's something that I think will give us a new way to think about the idea of prevention. In a way, self-care has been trending. I don't know if you've noticed that. It's a little bit of a friendlier term than prevention because people are more apt to do something positive like taking care of themselves rather than preventing something bad from happening in the future. It's recognized now, self-care, not so much as something selfish and indulgent. That's what I think COVID has changed, but a necessity. And while many of us in the wellness arena would probably use the term wellness instead of self-care, for some, and especially the medical community, the emphasis on people engaging in self-care seems to be something that they are now very much welcoming. I use the yin-yang symbol, which is a concept of dualism, just to start the conversation. And so I look forward to seeing what people in general, what you and others think about this direction as something that we might want to add to the toolbox for helping people become more well. As Rich Carmona said, people need to embrace healthy lifestyles to become more resilient, to choose healthy food, exercise, reduce stress, put a priority on restorative sleep, build strong immune systems, the things that we've been doing for years. So the bottom line is that by sharing a self-care healthcare model like this, we may have a unique opportunity to align with the medical arena in a way that not only will they accept, but wholeheartedly welcome. And that has not happened in the past with wellness. So I just offer this up as a model to consider as we explore resetting the world with wellness. And finally, I just want to end by saying that I am very grateful to have been, I feel, called to lead this charge for the many years that we've been doing so. I love working with Nancy. I love the whole team, the whole network out there. And it is my hope that come 2021, and we look back at 2020, that resetting the world with wellness will be one of the silver linings. And I thank you for being part of the whole effort to make that happen. Thank you very much.